Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of my 10-year green card journey. It's your girl Taz. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're an OG, you already know me. Welcome back. So in this series, if you haven't seen the intro, go and check it out. I mentioned that I'll be sharing my journey with you guys, my immigration journey in general, specifically my 10-year green card journey, and ultimately I'll also be sharing with you guys my journey to US citizenship. So in this episode, I want to cover the basics of US residency, understanding green cards, because before I can ultimately dive into the different episodes in the series itself, I have to begin from the beginning. So we have to go back to the basics, and I want to cover some ground and address some housekeeping matters as it relates to just understanding what this series is about, certain definitions I want to explain, and just to clear certain things up so that when we do go full-fledged into the different episodes in this series, no one is kind of left behind. And if you are confused as the series progresses, you can always come back to this video for a basic knowledge. Good. All right, let's jump right into it. Before I can start explaining green card and from conditional to non-conditional, which is a journey I'm on, and what you guys will be seeing throughout the course of these videos, I have to first explain what is a green card, right? Okay, a green card is a permanent resident card that is issued by the US government to a non-US citizen, granting that person the legal right to live, work, and play in the United States. It is official proof of your lawful permanent residence here. So when you see green card or green card holders also being referred to as permanent resident card holders or permanent resident cards or LPR, it's literally one and the same concept. It's the same thing. Green card, permanent resident card, LPR, lawful permanent resident card. Okay? So there are different ways that one can obtain a green card as shown on screen. Several different ways actually. You can obtain a family-based green card. You can obtain a green card through employment, through investment, by refugee or asylum or asylee status, diversity, lottery, or by special categories if you are found eligible. In this series of my 10-year green card journey, I'll be focusing on family-based green card and how I obtained a green card through marriage, which falls under the category of family-based green card. Okay, so a little backstory. So I am married to a US citizen, and at the time of our marriage and when he petitioned on my behalf for me to have lawful permanent residence in the United States, our marriage was of short duration, as you can describe it. So when he petitioned or filed for me to have lawful permanent residence here and get a green card, and by the time USCIS got to my case and issued me a green card, our marriage was just a few months old. So our marriage was less than 2 years. I got my first green card in 7 to 8 months of filing, right? Pretty short duration. So whenever USCIS issues a green card to someone who has been married for less than 2 years, that person receives what is called a conditional green card. Now, the green card in and of itself, as you can see on your screen, does not say conditional green card, right? What makes it conditional, or how it's known to be conditional by persons who know about a green card, is the date that is on the green card. So if a marriage is less than 2 years, by the time the USCIS issues that green card, you obtain a conditional green card, and the date shows that it is conditional. So the date that it is issued and the date that it expires will be 2 years. Okay, so why are conditions placed? The purpose of the conditions is to ensure that the marriage is legitimate and not entered into solely for the purposes of immigration benefits, aka to obtain a green card. What the US government does is they give it a green card and they're like, okay, boom. For my journey, I wasn't even interviewed. We weren't interviewed or anything. I literally was at home and I got my green card in the mail. So my process has been smooth sailing so far, like no hiccups, no issues. And by God's willing, it shall continue that way. Amen, amen. So what the US government is saying is when you get a conditional green card, they're like, okay, we've we've come across your case. Everything checks out. The evidence you've submitted checks out. Everything looks good. Your marriage is less than 2 years old. Okay, hold on to this green card, which is also going to be 2 years old. So in 2 years' time, check us back. We're gonna check back in with you guys to see where you guys are at. Are you guys still married? Was this marriage legitimate in the first place? Is there growth in their marriage? What has been happening? Like, what have you guys been up to? And so you go through the vetting process again of proving the validity of your marriage. And that is the process that I will be sharing with you guys. That is a journey that you will be seeing in these set of videos. Now, there are a few exceptions to the conditional residency status, and one of those exceptions, which I'll explore here, is the circumstances of death surrounding the U.S. citizen or the lawful permanent resident who is petitioning on behalf of the beneficiary, which I was in my case a few years ago, right? So if that person passes away, unfortunately, what the beneficiary can do is petition for themselves to say, hey, I was married to this person who I guess was about to or going to petition on my behalf for me to become a lawful permanent resident here in the United States. However, they've unfortunately died. So what the USCIS will do in that case is that they would more than likely give that person a 10-year green card, 10-year residency, so that person wouldn't have to come back in 2 years to be vetted again, because at the end of the day, there's no partner, there's no spouse for them to be vetted. You get what I'm saying? It's just like, clearly their partner have died, so what are we vetting? Got it. Okay. So how do you transition from a conditional resident to a non-conditional resident, which is again what I'll be sharing in these series of videos? So you do that by filing what is called a I-751, which is a petition to remove conditions on green card on your residency. And if you'll notice, all these applications by USCIS, they're known as I- and a number. So when my husband filed for me in the first place a few years ago, he filed what was called an I-130 and a few other I's. And now I have filed a I-751, which is again the petition to remove conditions on residents. And with that, how it works is that you're saying to USCIS, my 2-year green card is about to expire, and so I am filing for you guys to vet us again as a couple and grant me, remove these conditions basically, and grant me a 10-year green card. Hence the name. The form is called petition to remove conditions on residents. Right now, you may be wondering, if you're not so familiar with green card, is there a difference between the 10-year and a 2-year green card? Again, like I said earlier, the green card in and of itself does not say 10-year green card or 2-year green card. Like, it literally just say permanent resident or permanent resident card. I don't even remember. As shown on your screen, what indicates if it's conditional versus a non-conditional green card is the date that it was issued and the date that is about to expire or is going to expire. That's really it. So only the green card holder really knows what they're holding, basically what they're in possession of. So both the conditional green card and the non-conditional green card, as you can see by the diagram on your screen, they both offer the same rights and privileges in the United States. There's no difference in one being limited or one being like giving you greater access or rights. There's none of that. You're still a lawful permanent resident. You're not a citizen. And it's just that, like I said before, one is saying go back to USCIS to be vetted in 2 years, while the other is saying you're good for 10 years. That's literally it, baseline, honestly. Another difference from the conditional green card versus a non-conditional, like I've said earlier, when you want to transition from a 2-year green card to a 10-year green card, you have to file what is known as an I-751. Now, when you want to extend the validity of your 10-year green card, you file what is known as an I-90 form. Are you guys understanding so far? All right. if there's anything that I need to go over, just drop me a comment, or is there anything that I've said that you want me to expound on a bit more, I can make a video on it. Just let me know. And if there's anything that I didn't say that you'd like a little clarity, just again let me know. Again, like I've said in my intro, this is not legal advice. I am not an immigration lawyer or expert. I'm just a girl who wants to show you behind the scenes what it's like going through the process, and what it just humanize the process a little bit more. I know it can be intimidating and it is very overwhelming, and it can get it's pretty pricey, if I'm being honest. It can rub your pocket. Yeah, let's be real. So through the course of these videos in this series, what you're going to see is me filing my I-751 during the 90-day window that I'm given, the documents that I've submitted, the evidence, the processing, the fees, like everything in between, interview, honestly, everything. There's so much that is about to be shown, and I genuinely want you guys to tune in and share this video with someone who you know is going through the process, or will just love to have an idea of what it's like. Don't keep it to yourself. The 90-day window is basically this. So again, transitioning from conditional residence to non-conditional, right? So say the your green card expiration date is January 30, 2025, for example. So that's when USCIS says you've been married for a short duration. We're going to give you this first green card because everything checks out, but check us back in 2 years. What USCIS does is that you don't wait on January 30, 2025 or thereafter to remove the condition of it being a 2-year green card. What they do is that they say to you, you can apply to remove the conditions on those green card from 90 days prior to the expiration date. So 90 days before January 30, 2025, you're looking at, I'm pretending I wrote it down, November 1st, 2024. So like a few months before that, right? So during November 1st, 2024 and January 30, 2025, you have 3 months to apply to remove the conditions on your green card. You do not apply in October, and you do not apply after January 30 because there are consequences to not filing within time. There are consequences to filing too early, and there are consequences to filing late. And one of those consequences is that you face deportation because you would have lost your residency status. But again, don't worry about it. This is a marathon, guys. This is not a sprint. This will be a series of videos. And so if again you're going through the process, or you know anyone who's about to go through the process, I literally have a video that's coming up that's going to show you like how exactly to know when your 90 days starts, blah blah blah, like the website to go on, which is the USCIS website. I can say that from now. Just step-by-step detail what to do, what not to do. So don't even worry or start panicking if you were. Let's move on. All right, guys, let me just hurry and wrap this up because my camera and my microphone are just not cooperating today, and I'm in the mood. So like I was saying earlier, during the series of these videos, you're going to see me submit certain evidence, from affidavit to photographs to how we commingle our resources or finances, and I'm going to go through all of that. Again, this isn't a sprint, this is a marathon. So no worry in yourself. So when my husband petitioned on my behalf a few years ago, we had to submit certain evidence to show that we had a bona fide relationship, which is just mean that the marriage is real, right? Don't let that word scare you if you've never heard it before. And that evidence looked similar to what it's going to look like in these series of videos, which is what I submitted already. It basically USCIS just basically want to see that it's a real, genuine relationship, and they want to see how you guys as a couple commingle your resources, commingle your finances, and they want to see photographs, they want to see joint bank statements, they want to see a lease agreement or mortgage agreement, they want to see any sort of shared resources that you guys have, and that is similar. It's the same category of stuff that I've submitted for this I-751 application, which is the application to remove the conditions on my green card. Right now, it is not the same content. So the picture that I submitted a few years ago of us getting married to show that we were actually married, I'm not going to submit this same picture post 2 years. What you do is you're building on top of the evidence that you've submitted prior, right? But again, don't worry yourself. I am going to go in detail with all of that and show you guys what I did. I'm no expert, but I have a little sense. You know what I'm with it? All right, boom. So yes, guys, I'm about to take you guys from preparing documents to filing the documents to everything in between. And again, leading up to me obtaining my US citizenship. Yay! So if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. If there's anything that I didn't expound on in full detail, let me know if you'd like me to go in depth more. And if there is anything that I haven't mentioned that you'd like me to discuss in a future video, just let me know. I didn't want to make this video too drawn out and too long. I genuinely just wanted to cover certain basics before I dive into the series of videos, deep dive into the series of videos that are upcoming. And so I feel like I've covered enough, and if I don't stop talking now, I'm about to ramble. So that is it, guys. Again, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Turn your post notifications on so you'll never miss an upload. I am not honestly sure which day of the week I'm going to upload consistently, but you can expect at least one video every week from this series, maybe twice, maybe 2 times if I get around to editing as much, but for sure once. But yeah, that's it. Bye, guys. Stay tuned for my next video. So far, this is the evidence. I'm going to go through the evidence with you guys, right?